How's it going, Facebook and YouTube viewers? This is the Toy Man, CJ Dellinger, here with you with yet another review. Before we get into our news and our current topic, we have some introductions to do. So first and foremost, we have our wonderful stormtrooper over here, Volt.
You, stop there. That's all I got. Hi, folks. Oh, God. Hang on, this is heating up now.
Oh boy, don't burn to death. And last but most certainly not least, our good friend, Frogs. Or as I call him, Mr. Falcone.
Hi there. Cacaw.
All right, good.
Oh, alrighty then. So, like I said, before we get into our main topic, we have some news articles for you. So, first and foremost, the music video for the Kamen Rider Drive theme song has finally been released, and it's called Surprise Drive. Okay, sure. Anyway, if it's just an extension of the theme song, which it usually is, it's probably going to be really awesome. I haven't listened to it yet. I will be doing that shortly after this. But anyway, what are your thoughts on it?
It's interesting.
So-
Look, I like the song already, but it's like music video. I still just want like the regular song on phone.
You know?
yeah, just the song's good. The video is alright. The video was weird. It was just Eternal driving around like across what I assumed to be like Las Vegas, because it was like all desert until he like ran into Drive, and then his car transformed into a red car. And then he like looked at Drive, and they're all like, "Yeah, I'm Drive," and then that's how it ended.
Alrighty then. Interesting. Alright, while we're on the topic of Drive, there's been a new spy shot come around, featuring Kamen Rider Mach.
I'm gonna need to set that up because I'm the only one who can apparently screen share.
And I will do
There you
this. Present to everyone. Here we go. So now there's a couple of different ways that you can interpret this picture. One interpretation, well, since I'm not the one that came up with these interpretations, since it's actually these other two, I'm going to let you guys give the interpretations that you had. So, Volt, I think you had one.
Just from the way the shot was taken, because it looks like Chase is defending Mach. But they might just be like resting, like Frog said.
Yeah, I said that they were resting, or if this is like while filming, I said maybe like an enemy of an enemy like appeared, and then Chaser's like, "Oh, I'm about to have that. I'm just gonna work with these guys for about like 2 minutes in an actual episode, just fight this guy."
That is a possibility. Although the one thing that I'm still trying to figure out will happen, because it happens in pretty much all of them that involves an evil rider, at least from the ones that I've seen. Usually, whoever the evil rider is becomes good in some way, shape, or form. That's occasional, though. That's not all the time. But the fact is, do y'all think, just from looking at this and just from what little bit we have of Drive, do you think it is possible that Machine Chaser could actually become good?
I don't know. He looks like he could, but I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. Also, Kamen Rider Mach looks ugly as hell.
Kamen Rider Mach looks like the Stig.
He looks so. I feel like Mach could be like the easiest cosplay in the world, only because his helmet is literally. So look, so from what his suit looks like, he looks like he's already a stormtrooper. That's one.
I think we already have like good shots of him.
No, I think we only have just shots of his head. Second,
Yeah, that's all I've
literally,
seen is
literally his
I haven't
helmet.
seen a body shot.
His helmet is an everyday motorcycle helmet with antennas.
Not quite, but a little bit.
No, that is legit. It has a visor and everything. It's a motorcycle
Yeah,
helmet.
but it's also got a bunch of other stuff like breaking up the visor. But
Well, now, if you look at the article, it says that the speculation that Machine Chaser will become Mach is now, well, it says that it's out of the picture, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's people
It
thought.
because it depends upon what connotation this particular picture is taken. If it's taken from the aspect of, like what Volt said, then yes, Machine Chaser will not become Mach. But if it's taken from the aspect of what Frog said, there is still the possibility that Machine Chaser could turn into Mach. I don't see that happening, but but like I said, it depends upon which way they
Well,
take the series once it gets to that point.
do you know why they thought he was going to be, or Chaser was going to be Moth? It's because
The motorcycle.
Yeah.
The motorcycle makes
I
sense.
still think something's going to happen to Chaser because it's still stretched no matter how I try and think about it. But from what we've seen, Kamen Rider Lupin, his tension device is the same thing that Chaser uses to change.
Break up.
It's just red instead of purple.
I guess for any of this, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I actually look forward to seeing how this series goes. For any of you that remember, I at one point said I was only going to give this the two to three episodes, and then after that I'm done. Yeah, first episode, this series had me sold. So
It's a good show.
we are good.
It's okay for me right now. I can't really say too much about it.
Compared to another series that we're not going to discuss, it's good.
See. Anyway, I think that's everybody.
Yep. All right. Moving on. So we have
You suckers like ninjas.
We have a new rumor for Ninja. Try saying that 3 times fast without it sounding bad. Anyway, so the rumor is it is going to be very similar to Hurricaneger and Tokuger, in that there's going to be the 3-member starter team and then color swapping. So I don't know.
Rumors. It's
just a rumor. Don't quote us on this.
Because the same people that said this rumors are the ones that said that Go Busters was going to be a show about yokais, but it wasn't.
Seriously, to get just if you have salt nearby, just fucking grab it and just be like, read these rumors.
Also, along with Ninja, there is a first rumored actor, Mario Kuroba, announced on his blog that his agent contacted to tell him that he got a part in a new series. That post is now deleted, so we have no way of knowing what it was. It's possible. Which, if you look, I'll be honest, if you look at this dude, with the way Super Sentai has gone, in terms of the, I wouldn't say flamboyant, but I would say the nice bright.
Hold on. That picture was taken from a Prince of Tennis musical, so
True.
So don't take that picture too seriously.
Yeah, the thing is, like it doesn't even say if it's like a Toei series or for all we know, the series he talks about could be the next Ultraman.
It is possible. It just says he's in a new series, but it doesn't acknowledge which one. It once again, like we've said, these are all rumors. Don't quote us on this, because if you do, and we don't need anybody showing up at our doors calling us liars or anything. Just saying, we don't need that. But anywho,
kick you in the teeth if you do that.
Yes, and I will bludgeon you to death. But anyway, Moving on. So,
Moving on.
this monstrosity. The Power Rangers Dino Charge toys press photos have been released.
Oh, I thought we
Um,
were going to be doing the Megaforce thing for it. Okay.
I actually thought we were going to do the Megaforce one too.
My bad. I got them out of order. But anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So this is what the toys are supposed to look like. The thing that I
have confidence
wonder
about this thing, but we'll get to that in a minute.
the thing that I want to know, if you look at the Dino Charge Morpher and Cannon, the
Gabri Caliber is
the Gabri Caliber does not connect right with the Gabri revolver. It just sort of sits there on top. It makes no sense. I mean, does the blade not fold or anything? I mean,
I desperately want to think what's happened here is
they just laid it on top of each other. That's what I want to believe.
Yeah, it's probably mistransformation stuff. It happens a lot with toy stuff.
Yeah.
Because it looks like. Oh, hey, surprise guest, everybody.
Hey, we have a new person.
Hello. My name is Tomas. I'm also known as KRX50 on YouTube, and I am friends with Frogs and Bolt here. And this is my first time being on here. I'm glad to be here. This was a little bit last minute, so that's why I'm kind of joining it this time. But I'll be glad to participate.
Just
here
so
right on time for
in my opinion, we are joined by reviewing royalty here, so treat him politely, guys.
Oh, we already.
You're too
politely. Oh yeah, CJ told us beforehand that he's like your biggest fan.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're actually one of the reasons why I decided to start doing reviews. But anyway.
Thank you.
But anyway, as we were saying, getting back before I go into full nerdgasm mode.
Currently, we are on the press release stuff for the Dino Charge toys, and we're.
Here, I will link you all this. I'm going to send the links again in the.
Well, I've actually seen that, and I guess what I have to say is, it looks alright. I mean, it's interesting that they're releasing multiple training sets, as they're calling them, and as far as the actual morpher goes, it looks pretty good. At least they managed to keep in some of the clear plastic. Of course, they had to change the nozzles, the muzzles to orange, but it overall looks pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing, that we were saying that we're kind of intrigued on how they're actually going to do is the
Gabri Caliber.
The Gabri Caliber, because they're only showing, they're only showing it in sword form. They're not showing it in the method of actually connecting.
It still looks like it can fold and everything. I just think this is like a production guy didn't know what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It just looks like it doesn't look like the toys are actually connected. It looks more like he photoshopped it to make it connected.
Which also, if you look at the very top picture, where it's the big close-up of the revolver, and then you look at the next picture down.
Oh goodness, you're right.
Sword. Yeah. It's two completely different guns.
Yeah,
they're two totally different things. So it makes me wonder if the training sets, as they're calling them, are just going to be dumbed-down versions.
And if they are, they for the press release, they kind of made a weird mistake because all three sets have the red battery.
Yeah, that is strange. I mean, I guess if the way you're putting it makes it kind of seem like perhaps the actual morpher itself won't be able to combine with the sword, and it's just these training sets that'll have the combined mode.
I don't know. It's too early to tell at this point.
True. I mean, we haven't actually seen any pictures for the sword on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is something I'll have to go see. On to the other stuff, like the figures and.
Okay, looking at the Dino Charge cycle, that thing is the biggest. That thing looks ugly as anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, what kills it is the lack of paint.
Yeah, because if you look,
Also, the fact that there's no battery.
yeah, I mean, I guess my question is, and we'll figure this out once this series actually comes out. The thing that I wonder is, how are they going to be doing the battery distribution? Are they going to be doing it similar like they've done the Ranger keys, or are they going to be doing it?
So, so in the
Uh,
synopsis, it said they're going to have to like travel around the world to find all the batteries.
what?
Would kind of that could help them get away with how the in Kyoryuger, the Jidenryu would be summoned from different places around the world.
I
Yep.
mean, I like that idea, but at the same time, for people that don't travel, I mean, you're going to end up with a lot of scalpers.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't think you're gonna have to travel like they do to get stuff, but
yeah.
I hope not. But anyway, let's move on down to the deluxe Dino Charge Megazord.
I've
Well,
already been going through that, and it looks all right. What?
Yeah,
I
it looks
mean,
alright. I
I'm
mean, the only problem I see of it is how the connectors are the same red as the rest of the body, whereas, for the Japanese version, they were black to distinguish between that being the connectors and the separation between the Tyrannosaurus and the two arm Zords.
yeah, but that's because Bandai of Japan is smart.
Uh,
I do like the fact that they actually finally went back to it being a pink Triceratops,
yeah.
not the purple thing, because
Um,
I think enough people bitched about it. Pardon my language, but I think
Yeah,
enough people
well,
bitched about
I
it.
guess I think this can be seen as a positive thing because it means that Bandai's listening to the fans and taking what they have to say into account.
Yeah. And for the longest time, it always came across like that was not the case, but I'm glad they're finally listening. So let's
I,
scroll down to the Dino Charge Zord armor.
I, I,
Vault!
I,
Go
oh
for
my
it.
God, I have comments on that thing. Okay,
Go for
this
it.
guy right here, someone really liked Baron.
Yeah, that's
Perhaps.
very
I think that could
Baron-esque.
be coincidental.
It just looks like the color matching is like. I
Uh-huh.
really like this. It took me a second to realize what that is. You're not dying, are you?
I've got sinus problems, but I'm alright.
All
Mhm.
right. It took me a moment to notice what was going on because I thought this was just like a Zord that had blade arms, and I was like, "That's kind of cool." And I just now noticed the hands here
Yeah.
and the feet, and I was like, "Oh, that kind of takes away from it, but it's still kind of cool."
I mean, it looks. I guess from this picture here, it kind of looks like the figure's gonna be just not painted very much, but you can kind of see a little bit of paint for the chest underneath the armor, at least on the sides.
Yeah, I will. I will say one thing about this thing though. That head sculpt is gorgeous.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's so good because it shows that we can still do good head sculpts even in the U.S.
yeah,
Oh,
And one thing
agreed.
about these
I
is
mean,
how there definitely looks like there are parts that can be detached and put elsewhere. So this is probably going to be another part of the Zord Builder system.
oh yeah, no, you can see the ports and everything.
probably. I'm kind of.
We have the second set here.
Right, the Parasaurolophus.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of looking at it. I'm looking at it, and it looks like like if you look at the arm pieces that have the blades on them, it looks like, at least from the angle that we have it, it looks like they can actually connect and make like a big tail
Yeah.
of something.
Admittedly,
So
this
I don't know.
reminds me of one of the American exclusive figures they did for Operation Overdrive for the Black Ranger. I think it was based on
Yeah,
their Drill Zord.
Hmm.
I think it'll be interesting to see how it pans out with these at this
Kind
point.
of. I usually kind of don't like these these American-made like never happened in the show toys.
Well, it's been happening for years, so it's kind of
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
I
mean
know.
it's actually been happening for. Have you ever gone back and looked through the Lightspeed Rescue stuff? You'll find
Yeah.
this thing called the Titanium Landcrawler.
oh yes,
Um, I know it's been happening for years. I've just never really been a
Definitely, I
fan.
think this concept of creating American original figures either started with Turbo or in space.
I believe it was in space because I think Silver Titanus was the precursor to that.
Yeah, but then there were also a bunch of like analyzer figures for the other Rangers beside the way.
You
Yeah.
mean Space Titanus?
Yeah.
Yeah, who bet
Titan.
poor Titanus had his head chopped off and replaced it with a rocket ship.
You
Alrighty.
can just get the parts and everything, turn that into a regular old Titanus.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
It's funny. I didn't find out until about Space Titanus until literally the day of Morphicon. Somebody told me about it, and I was all like, "What?" And then I just literally started seeing Space Titanus boxes everywhere.
Oh wow.
Oh, to wrap up this news, though,
We have
got
the
these-
figures.
we have these two figures which are really, really mixed. Because one has the cover and knuckle, and it's really small and heavily unpainted.
Okay, so here's my theory. So they're gonna
Then
release
we
all
got
five, all five
like,
of that of this kind, and you could probably it looks like you could attach all of them together.
Oh yeah, no.
It looks
Two-
like you can do that on the
first one
bottom.
is your standard figure. The second is the recent Armored Might line, which started around Megaforce.
Yeah, the second picture where it's showing the red Gobbery Knuckle, that's the that's
Well,
the one. The what?
it was actually called the Gabutira Fang in Japan.
Oh yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Gobbery Fang. That one I think could possibly be like what Frog said, is that you buy all 5 figures and then those weapons will actually connect. Because I do know that they actually had a line of the in space toys where the 5 weapons would connect into the big weapon.
They've actually done that pretty often, surprisingly.
Yeah. I just remember I just remember in space specifically because I at one point had the red drill that he has. I at one point had that, and it worked. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, no. I remember having a line of Lightspeed figures that all like each one came with a separate little weapon, and they could all combine into the Lifebird.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one interesting case I remember was for Dino Thunder, where each Ranger would come with a unique weapon, but the trick with those were they weren't the weapons from the show. They would actually combine into a Ranger figure. They call it, and for some reason they call it the Phantom Ranger, forgetting that a Phantom Ranger already existed.
Yeah.
Interesting. But anyway, moving on from Dino Charge news, we now move over to Super Mega Force. Apparently, there was a teaser about an extended Legendary Battle episode. From everyone that I have heard say about this show, keep in mind I have not been able to keep up with Super Mega Force, that the Legendary Battle was actually very lackluster, is what some people have said. Some people have said it was really good, and then others have said that it's lackluster. So I don't know who to listen to. I'll have to watch it later.
Well, okay, so it comes out in America, like the final battle or whatever, like either this week, this Saturday, like tomorrow, or next week. It already aired months ago in like France. That's why people are saying.
Yeah, basically, the thing aired early in France, and just everybody hated it.
Yeah.
Like it was apparently just really, really bad.
Uh,
And it was made much, much worse by how much it was hyped and just pimped by people like JDF and Jason Font.
At the same time, I feel like it's possible that a lot of the people who kind of cried out against it were likely overzealous Gokaiger fans.
I will
Possibly.
definitely agree that might be a part of it. I can't look at the Power Ranger Facebook anymore because it's like anytime something Super Megaforce pops up, there's just Gokaiger fans there. Like, it's not Gokaiger.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
That's why you reply with "Go Kaijus for kids."
Yeah.
Oh God, we're gonna get mauled.
Oh, okay. I was actually there for that when it started at Morphicon.
Let's not open that can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to live. All right, just saying.
That's about all that. I mean, we have this tweet from
Sierra
Sierra.
and yeah,
I mean, that's all we have.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really not looking forward to it because obviously I doubt it's going to do it any justice. But I'm not going to say anything. Just going to let it run its course. That's all.
So
I think-
obviously, while it would be, improper to kind of go back and take a look at it, just out of curiosity, since I joined late, just wondering what the subjects of discussion for the news were before I joined.
we talked about very briefly the full music video for the Drive theme song,
All
the
right.
spy shot for Mock with Chaser, and like some mild rumors about new Ninja.
Okay.
Yep, and that was it.
All right then.
All right, so moving on, we're just sort of lumping all of these together, because it's all Ultraman news. So Ultraman Leo is now being streamed on Crunchyroll. So if you if you have a Crunchyroll account, first off, I need your login information because I want one. Just kidding. But if you like the Ultraman series, Leo is now on Crunchyroll.
Same for Max and
Mebius.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And
What I think
then
about this is that I think this is a strange choice because out of the show Ultraman, Leo is perhaps the most different looking. And that is, for people who know the series, is because he's from a different nebula than most of the other Ultramen.
Interesting.
And he actually had to earn the title of Ultraman.
Huh.
So it is interesting to see this series be put on, since it is kind of an outlier, and it's one of the last Showa Ultraman series.
Awesome.
Definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah. The next bit that we have, the voice actor Mamoru Miyano, is is going to reprise his Ultraman Zero role in Ultraman Ginga in the Ultraman Ginga S movie. He has confirmed that he is going to reprise his role.
From seeing the 3 movies of Ultraman Zero Saga, I can say I'm glad to hear this because he did an excellent job in that role. He was very much fiery and hot-blooded, and that helped his character stand out from the more calm and noble Ultraman.
So, and then of course we have Ultraman Ginga S the movie, the showdown. 10 warriors have been revealed. Ultra 10 warriors. Basically, the movie's been revealed. So aside, look, all right, I'm going blind, okay. So aside from Ginga and Victory, which I'm guessing are some of the current ones right now.
Those are the 2 current.
Okay. The other Ultraman will be Tiga, Dyna, Gaia, Cosmos, Nexus, Max, Mebius, and Zero.
Those are really cool names, by the way.
Ultraman.
That's a lot of giant people. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is kind of going to be like the Ultraman going to All Riders.
We have another surprise guest. What is this?
Oh, this is our other guest, Eric from New York.
Ah,
How are you?
hello, Eric from New York.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're all right. You came at the right time because we're almost done with our news of the week and getting ready to hit the movie.
Is this the Sharivan movie?
Sharivan.
Sharivan, yes. So, But anyway, so I've never actually watched the Ultraman series just because I haven't watched the Japanese. I've watched the American adaptation a long time ago, but I've just not gotten into it again in my older years. But
Well,
that is a
what I'll
series
say
that I've
is
been
that
looking
as
at
a
doing.
recent Ultraman fan, it's kind of hard to be one these days just because the series isn't getting that much love. It's getting somewhat ignored. I mean, Ultraman Ginga S, which is the current series, a sequel to Ginga, is currently very slow on the subbing. There are two groups subbing it, but so far it's only been subbed by any group up to episode 4, and neither of these groups are like major. These are the first time projects for both of them. And it's
Uh,
because from having watched episode Raw, Ultraman Ginga S is possibly one of the best Ultraman series there are. Now, I mean, I might be wrong considering I haven't seen much, but like a lot of people have problem with Ginga. But from what I've read of past series and from what I've watched of Ginga S, it feels a lot like what a traditional Ultraman series should be. And I feel
right.
like if there were people, more well-known groups subbing it, it could get a lot more attention because I think it really is a great series.
I guess the one thing that because I know what are the names? I know TV Nihon has subbed some Ultraman, but I don't know how far
Yeah,
back they.
they subbed all of Ginga, and then they were all like, "Ginga's terrible. We're never doing this again." That's literally what happened. That's
Maybe
what
it's
every like,
in Ultra 7X as well.
everybody who subbed Ginga was like, we're never doing this again." So that's
Yeah,
why they.
that's the problem. That's the unfortunate thing because
Oh no, wait! I just remembered because of the fact that Mebius is now on Crunchyroll, it got taken down off of TV
yeah.
Nihon.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the good thing is at least Subaru is being proactive because they are actually streaming episodes of Ginga S on their YouTube channel. They don't have English subtitles, but they are streaming them as they come out.
Well, I mean, I guess that's one way of watching it. So pretty much, if you want to watch it, you need to get some understanding of the Japanese language.
Yeah.
A little.
Little. But so does anyone have anything else they want to say about Ultraman before we move on to the hot topic of the day?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this really came up, or I don't know if this got reacted or was heard, but I mean, what I have to say about this new Ultraman Ginga as the movie thing is that it seems like it's supposed to be basically the equivalent to DK's All Riders versus Die Shocker movie because it's a gathering of the Heisei Ultraman.
Well, the thing that it reminds me of, considering that they're bringing back a lot of the old Ultraman people, it reminds me a lot like a superhero Tyson movie, but instead of being Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, it's the Ultraman people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like the thing is, I'm not super deep into a lot of the Ultra stuff. I dug Mebius and I love Tiga to death, but from what I understand, with this movie, they didn't just pick 10 random Ultras like Tiga, Dyna, Gaia, Cosmos, Nexus, Max, Mebius, and
Like I
Zero.
said,
Apparently,
Heisei Ultraman.
yeah, but they're also like the super like well-loved ones.
Well, specifically, they're the main Ultraman of each series, and with the exception of Zero, who never had TV series, just movies and an online miniseries.
Hmm.
Poor Zero.
At the same time, I mean, Zero, from what I can tell, is actually a very popular character within the Ultraman franchise, so
Yeah, he was well liked.
I think that's why he got this online miniseries.
Probably. But anyway, so is there anything else that we want to say about Ultraman?
Not really. I mean,
I can
we
think
pretty
of.
much. I think we pretty much hit everything.
Alrighty. Well, if we've pretty much hit the topic, or if we've hit that on the head, then we shall now move on to our wonderful topic of the day. So recently, I don't know who all, everyone goes to different people for subbing. I tend to go through Overtime because they're relatively quick. A lot of people like TV Nihon because they do a little more in depth with their translations and everything. But for the sake of this particular review, a lot of us had to go through Overtime to watch the Space Sheriff Sharivan Next Generation movie.
Well, before we start, I actually have a confession in that I haven't seen the movie yet. I have skimmed through little bits of it. I don't know the entire story. I've seen some action scenes and whatnot, but yeah, I won't have too much to contribute here to the movie itself because I wasn't invited until like the last minute, and so I didn't know to watch it.
You know
Things
what?
happen.
It happens. We'll excuse it. Just interject what you can, especially with what you know about Sharivan, if you know anything about from the original.
I'll admit I don't know too much about the space ships actually.
Well, you're not alone in
I'll
that.
to contribute a little bit.
You're not alone in not knowing much about the Space Sheriffs because it's only been recently that I was introduced to the Metal Heroes series anyway. So
That's actually why I invited Eric to this. He knows a lot about Metal Heroes, I believe. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah. My first experience with Metal Heroes. I grew up watching Billboard Zero Troopers. I
yeah,
didn't pay much of it any mind until I saw Gokaiger versus Gavan. And when I saw that movie, a friend of mine, he showed me the movie. It brought me back all these feelings I had as a kid when I enjoyed watching Power Rangers. It actually got me going back to watching Super Sentai. I started watching Kamen Rider. And I want to cosplay Gavan. I actually am getting a Gavan suit made for me to wear.
oh,
So I
nice.
went back to watch Space Sheriff Gavan, the 1982 version, and I love it. You know, it's as a fan, I found it hard to watch because it was a very old show. Watching Space Sheriff Gavan, the 2002 version with Ichimonji Geki, and watching Sharivan, the Next Generation, I was blown away by the movie. I have very few complaints about Next Generation. The one thing I would say my biggest complaint is, I was telling Adrian this earlier, was the opening scene. If you remember when Gavan is fighting that monster, he beats him up, you know, but then later on, like, when he walks to the monster, he arrests him. If you watch Gavan, he kills his monster. So what really bothered me is, like, why is he arresting him?
Well, you know, to kind of counter that, you have to also remember that, you know, it's a completely different Gavan. It's the suit has been transferred to someone else because, you know, later on you find out that it's no longer Iga Den who was Sharivan. It was passed on to someone else. So the same concept is probably true for Gavan, in that, you know, it's a different person using it, so maybe it's a different style of use.
Well,
You see, I
kind of Gavan type gig.
I disagree with you, because if you watch the Gavan movie, he killed his own friend. He killed Toya. You know, but again, that's the only complaint I had from it. I found it hilarious afterward was when he arrested him and then he kicked him in the knee. Like, isn't this like space police brutality? You know, like,
It was also space profiling.
He's monster profiling.
It was space monster profile. But
oh my God,
it's not that he's an entirely new Gavan that changes a little. I think it's just they wanted to tone it down a little, and then with the Gavan movie, which didn't quite enjoy. Reactions were very mixed. So with Sharivan, I think they went and turn that dial back up because Sharivan's movie and Gavan's movie are completely different.
Oh no, they are completely different. If I had to choose which movie, I'm a big Gavan fan, but if I had to choose, I'd choose the Sharivan movie.
Well, it just has more of the person you're there to see, which is Sharivan. My biggest complaint with the Gavan movie was he only turns into Gavan 3 times, and it's very brief, save for the last one.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I haven't seen the Gavan movie yet, or the new Gavan movie yet, so I don't know. The only thing that I've seen with Gavan recently was the Gokaiger movie that had it in it.
Yeah, the most recent, yeah, it's the Gokaiger movie and super terrible Tyson Z.
Yeah.
I did not like that movie.
Ironic. I think Superhero Tyson Z, not to double away from the topic, I think it would have been a lot better if it was just Kamen Rider Wizard versus Space Sheriff Gavan as opposed to like a big
Everybody else.
Yeah, everyone.
And like you said, not getting away from the topic, but I do kind of agree with that. But anyway, let's get back on to what we were doing. Anywho,
movie talk.
Movie talk, yes. So I do agree with you that the opening scene. The thing that confounded me, though, is it's called Space Sheriff Sharivan. Why did they start off with Why did they start off with Gavan?
They're just giving the people what they want.
Like,
well,
I could say it's kind of like a good example like that is like, remember the first episode of Gokaiger where the first transformation was Go Ranger?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that feel. You're gonna start off the next series. You start off with the very first one, Gavan. And plus Gavan, he in the old shows he actually teamed up with Sharivan later in the series, and they all work together. The Space Galactic Police.
Touche.
And I think it's leading to something bigger because if you remember, after the arrest that Gavan made, you see a news report where they're talking about the 3 main villains of the respective series: Maku, Mado, and I forget the other one, which I believe is the main villains for Shider.
Actually, I believe it was confirmed this week that they are making a movie for all 3, and they're going to have a movie together.
Yeah,
that was
confirmed. They're all connected, and it's mostly via the crazy bird lady.
The damn bird woman.
The psychotic Sesame Street reject.
It's Maku, Mado, and Fuma.
Fuma. Okay.
Oh, Fuma, not Fuma. That sounds like some sort of like, let's protect all the animals association.
No, that sounds like a type of shoe that Michael Jordan would release.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Pumas didn't do so great, so I have my Fumas.
Wow. Anyway,
but I think we're going quite off topic, and we should actually get into the meat of this.
What did you think of the Estevan?
I was so upset when the twist happened because I really liked Estevan. I was like, oh my god, you're great, you're charismatic, you're funny, and you take the whole space sheriff thing like it means nothing, and you're just like, ha ha, I'm a kid with a toy.
That twist, I saw that twist coming a mile away.
It was like a M. Night Shyamalan twist for me.
Oh Lord!
It didn't like become apparent to me until like he shot Eileen, and I was like, oh, you're a bad guy. Oh great, the guy I like is a bad guy.
Well, the thing that kind of for me it was a little bit later on. It was actually where I actually realized that the twist was happening was that it was at the moment where Sharivan is on the roof with Guard Beast, and they're talking, and Guard Beast is like, "No, I did this deliberately." Blah 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 blah. And Sharivan's like, "Wait a minute, if shit, oh shit," and
Boom.
and then yeah, kaboom. But the thing is, okay, about Estevan. All right, I swear to God, when he popped up and they said what his name was, I'm not even going to lie. I busted out laughing because I was like, so when did the Japanese get some Mexican names in their vocabulary? When did the Japanese go Mexican? Damn it!
They're gonna release a Space Sheriff Rodriguez.
That's what I was thinking. Oh my God!
Oh, if we want to talk about
It's the sweet life
if
of.
we want to talk about when Japanese went Hispanic, I'd say during Bleach, when they said that Chad was Mexican and he started.
I think the other thing with me that made me, the one thing that made me laugh with Estevan the most was when he first does his transformation and like just before the bolt of lightning hits, he just does this random hip thrust.
It's called the pelvic thrust. Sorry, I've been watching Rocky Horror Picture Show, so forgive me. Yeah,
But the other stuff is, I knew they were redoing the Gavon bootleg suit for him, but I thought it was going to be more than just a paint over.
I didn't even realize that was just that actually was a paint over. Huh.
Yeah, it's just they painted the Gavon bootleg suit gold.
Huh.
And I must say,
Why?
I prefer this paint over as opposed to the Van Bootleg.
Yeah.
KRX50, what is your opinion on Estevan?
I didn't see enough to get a full good opinion. I mean, he seemed interesting. It just seems like a very strange contrast because I first knew the actor from playing
Go Busters?
Buster in Toku Sentai Go Busters, and he seems like a very different character. So it's
Yeah, that's what I
Vastly
noticed that too.
different character.
Yeah, when he appeared, I was all like, "Oh my gosh, it's Blue Buster!" Yes, and then he transformed, and I was like, "I didn't see that coming. That was pretty cool." And
Did
then
anyone
the
notice
twist
that
happened.
Abo Red was the leader of Hyper M? Or
yeah,
I did notice
That's who
that.
Oh, sorry.
that's who that guy was. I was like, "Who is this guy? I've seen him before. I'm gonna be so pissed."
And
Oh,
I
thank
like
you.
that his actor's getting back into Toku because I a couple years ago watched Aberrain for myself, and Ryoga was my favorite character. So it's great to see his actor getting more work in Toku.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that I do love about over there is the fact that, compared to over here with their actors, is over there the actors are actually loved by the companies. So these people are willing to go do these things. Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with the agents and everything, but the fact that they're willing to say, okay, yeah, sure, I'll go back and I'll do this, no problem, let's go. That says a lot with the treatment that they get.
Everyone except for Kuga.
Yeah. Godai's. I don't think Godai's actor's been in anything since.
No, as far as I know.
That's kind of depressing.
Okay, I guess for the most part then.
No, they're hinting that he might be. They're saying now that he likes his role in Kuga again, but it's weird.
Wait, didn't he hate his role like a week ago?
Yeah.
He's
I
fishing.
mean, I don't want to sound like a stereotypical rap song, but literally, it was about a week ago.
No, really. I remember a few months back they were all like, "Oh yeah, Godai likes his role again. He might be coming back. We're not gonna."
Oh, God.
I don't know. I got really excited.
Never saw Kuga and has no plans to. I don't really care what Joe Uegiri has to say.
Wait, what?
I said, as somebody who never watched Kuga and has no plans to, I don't really care about Joe Odagiri's view on his role.
Oh.
Nah. Especially when he flip flops on it, but that's off topic. I think the
Yeah.
guy I want to talk about next is You know what? Yeah, the heck with it. Let's talk about Sharivan himself, aka Geki Violet.
Sharivan.
Again, Sharivan was like, I was like, who is this guy? I've seen him before. Thank you. He's Gecky Violet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, the thing that I like about him, he has the moment where, you know, they talk about the incident before he became Sharivan, and it shows him in the situation where the assassin thing's about to kill the girl, and he's doing all these calculations. I like the way that even up until that point, up to the point of being Sharivan, he kept it. But then something clicked, and he finally realized that, you know, there has to be a human. I guess you could look at it. There has to be a reality aspect of it put into it. That calculations aren't everything.
I feel like what they did was they captured something really good in the police force. Or when you're learning in college, you learn two things. There's two types of smarts. There's book smarts and there's street smarts. And there was a type of they taught that subtly in the character development in Sharivan that I enjoyed so well that they were able to do in a movie that not many movies I feel can do what that movie did so good. You know.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. They explained the friendship between Sharivan and Estevan. They went from showing Sharivan mature into becoming Sharivan, and then that one scene where he says, I can beat you because I'm a space sheriff. That hit it for me. You know, and that like I felt, and I don't want to sound stereotypical or like even mean, but I had so much feels for this character.
Please don't say feels again.
Don't judge me.
I'm sorry. It's just I see that all over the internet, and it just annoys me that people are saying feels instead of feelings because I don't know. It just gets to me. Like a lot of internet lingo these days just kind of gets on my nerves.
I know these young hipster kids with their new lingo. I know, man.
And I'm not even that old. I'm only 23.
You know, I'm 25 and I can hardly keep up with the new internet lingo. Every time you turn around, oh, we've got something new, and I'm what? No.
I'm about like 24, 25, and about a couple of weeks ago, I went on a huge back in my day rant.
I'm only 20. Still in my day.
What's sad is, I had to pull that same stunt, Noah. I had to do that. It was, it made me feel so old. But one of the kids over at the lake, and this is, oh my god, it was ridiculous. But anywho, that's off topic.
I think the production value for this movie was like top notch in any like. Was this movie made by Toei?
Yeah.
So.
It also had, I believe, had Sakamoto directing.
I know that was confirmed. I just don't know if Toei made this because like this is like production wise, this was like top notch.
Yeah.
It was. I really hate saying this, but leagues above the Gavan movie.
My question is this, just because I've not watched much of the Metal Heroes, i.e. I've not watched any of the Space Sheriffs. I know they're doing the same thing with
Shider.
With Kikader. By bringing it back. Is there a reason per se why they're bringing back the Space Sheriffs?
Basically what they're trying to do is with all these Metal Hero movies, they're trying to drum up excitement and interest in starting another line of Metal Hero shows.
Well, here's something you should know first. Kikader is not a Metal Hero.
I know it's not a Metal Hero, but you know I know in Gaim that they brought Kikader into the series just for like one episode.
That's the Kikaider reboot.
Right,
Uh-huh.
but you know, the last I remember is that series ended early '90s, I think. I could be wrong. So I was just curious. I was just curious as to why, like, they're and Noah, your explanation does make a lot of sense. But they're trying. I guess they're trying to bring it back, drum up hype for these new series. Because I mean, for the longest time, I mean, there had been plenty of instances, you know, that Gavan could have been brought back or Sharivan, but they just never were. So I guess they're trying it now for whatever reason.
Isn't Kikaider coming out in America now, like the DVD?
Apparently, it has an American release date set, which is interesting. Although I think there was at least there might have been. I think there was a Kikaider anime series that was dubbed in English.
Also, I think it's also because Kikaider is like really, really big in Hawaii. Of all places.
Believe so.
Kikaider's huge down there, so I think those Hawaiians were super happy.
Well, we made one. We made
I'll tell
one
you
state
what I
happy.
think. Japan, and I'm not an expert. I'm just going by what I see.
Right.
The big celebration or hullabub about Gokaiger, which was the 35th anniversary. You have a decade, which was the 10-year anniversary of the Heisei Riders. Completely different. Sailor Moon, the 20th anniversary coming out. Crystal. There's a lot of things going on with anniversaries. You know, Metal Heroes, Gavan, was 30 years, and there was a lot of excitement to the Gokaiger versus Gavan movie, and I think they realized that there was something there, an interest to bring it back in some way. I think what we'll be getting is just movies, which is what I'm happy with. I don't see it getting beyond that, but I think that's what they're doing. They see the interest in the past shows, and they're just either rebooting it or doing the movies about it. And yes.
Which I mean, either way that you look at it, it is drumming up the interest. So there is a possibility that they would have to bring out the old shows from the archives, or do like what Noah said, and they might be doing reboots of the series. I don't know. I'm not in the minds of Toei. I'm not there.
God, how I wish I was.
So, like,
Is that Toei loves their anniversaries. They will take advantage of any kind of anniversary they can, and
yeah.
in on that.
Really though, so if you think about it, if these shows do good, they could re-release the original shows on DVD, like
Shout Factory.
No, that's if they do come to America.
Yeah.
Like Kikaider, I don't think that's Shout Factory. That's its own thing. But if they're if the young kids or whatever in Japan, they're all like, oh yeah, I really like the Gavan movie. I wish I could watch the Gavan show, like the original or whatever. That's they're like Toei will be like, oh, guess what? We're coming out with the Gavan in Blu-ray somehow.
Oh.
From seeing Gavan the movie and from I've seen of Sharivan the movie, these seem a bit aimed at an older crowd because they're a little bit more mature. There is a bit more
so much blood.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're going to catch. I don't.
Well,
really,
Tomas, you're right. You are right. But what really bothers me about Gavan, I remember one episode, the first episode I saw. He uses, he does this thing, laser blade, and he chops a monster in half, and I was like, holy what just happened here? As an adult, and I guess it's because I grew up on Power Rangers. It's just seeing a monster get destroyed in a certain fashion was just like mind blowing for me. But that was a kid show.
That was a different time, back in the 70s and the 80s.
Oh man, if you want to
get away with a lot more in terms of violence. They were allowed to, get away with some mutilation of sorts.
Well,
in modern tokusatsu.
if you want to see that, you should totally go watch Sun Vulcan, where they cut every monster in half at the waist.
Oh crap!
And I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
well,
Vulcan.
ooh, sorry, go ahead.
You versus Eric.
I already said what I had to say. Oops.
Okay, well, I was just saying that another example of violence in that time was Master Rider Amazon, whose main attack was chopping and whose enemies would spray out these geysers of blood.
Well, I mean, even if you want to look at modern Toku, no, there isn't the amount of blood, but if you look at Shinkenger, I mean, there's multiple episodes where the little grunts are cutting people in half and slicing people through them and throwing people off bridges.
You can blame Dire Ranger for the lack of blood nowadays. Because Dire Ranger had too much blood. Yeah, parents got mad.
And this movie doesn't, because
Well,
the first thing jumping into my head is like when Sharivan loses his shit and just starts like whacking the laser blade at Estevan's neck.
Well, again, this isn't really aimed at kids.
True, but at the same time, because it does kind of follow the same, I guess because it does fall into Toku itself, there is still the possibility of kids watching it. And I guess another thing that we do have to remember, though, is over in Japan, kids are taught to be a lot more tolerant of things than what kids over here are. I mean, if this was something directed towards kids like over here in the U.S., parents would be going apeshit about it.
Yes.
Like, straight up apeshit. But then over there, they have a much higher tolerance to that sort of thing. And I mean, they're taught at a young age.
Right. They crucified Marvelous, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
The passion of the Marvelous.
That's so damn sacrilege, and I'm laughing at it. I don't care.
No comment.
but I mean, seriously, it's just, I mean, anyway.
I mean, there's quite a few things to talk about. And man, I don't know how much time.
Tomas, you really need to see this movie.
Yes.
You really do.
Well, for me, I'm going to wait until the Shredder movie comes out and then watch them back to back.
Binge watch. I need to do that, actually.
Well,
I need to see if
they
I
were
can.
announced at the same time, so I think I would rather watch them as a double feature than on their own.
To each their own.
Well, yeah. This is, I don't know. Okay, so there was one problem I had, and I actually told Eric this, but it was the stupid CGI blood. That was the one thing I did not like. Somebody would cut their shot, and then they'd just start spewing CGI blood, and then you go back, and there's no wound at all. Like their clothes aren't full, except for a few instances where like somebody would cut somebody's shirt, then there's a wound. But like there was in the last fight when Sharivan got shot, he got shot in the leg and he was spewing blood, like CGI blood. And then you look at his legs. His pants weren't torn up. There was no wound. There was nothing. And then he literally stood back up.
Here's my counter for you, Adrian, for that. When you said that, the first thing that came to mind was as a 10-year-old. When I was 10 years old. And remember, as a 10-year-old boy, I had a very limited attention span. Keep that in mind as I say this. I was, watching. I was forced to watch one of those Spanish soap operas. And in one of the Spanish soap operas, one of the guys.
Actually, same here.
Another guy who was cheating with his girl. You see the stab, and then when he pulls it out, the guy apparently is bleeding, but there's no blood on the knife.
Okay.
Damn,
and given my limited attention span as a 10-year-old kid who has nothing, why do I care about this crap? This show sucks. I paid attention immediately to that. Like, why is there no blood on the knife? For me to have noticed that CGI
was born.
I had to have really paid attention, but I couldn't because I was so enthralled in how good that movie was.
No, I do see your point, but at the same time, to also counter what Adrian was saying, yes, when he got shot, yes, there was a lot of CGI blood, but then at the same time, if they were cut with like a sword, being the being shot bit, there was a lot of the CGI blood. Yes, there ended up being a lot of the, I guess you could call it the food coloring paint or the food coloring blood or whatever you want to call it. But
My God, he's losing Kool-Aid.
oh no,
What?
my voice is just deep enough I can do that. Oh no. I used to be able to do that. With me being sick, that is a no. Now I sound like Mr. Kool-Aid. But anyway, but like the slash wounds, those are the ones that had the blood. Yes, there was the CGI blood, but the thing is you could actually see the wound. I mean, even the one where where Esteban, not Bond. Damn, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Anyway, slashes Sharivan, and even though it's still covered by the shirt for the most part, there's that one instance where it is open and you see it. But then he transforms. When he de-transforms, he still has the wound. So at least there was no continuity issue there. But,
Oh, that was pretty cool. Like, wounds stayed even when they were untransformed.
yeah.
I actually really liked that. This is just an overall really good movie. There was nothing I had, like, no really big problems with.
I mean, the thing that perturbed me about it, and it was so small that I didn't even really notice it. That stupid bird woman. Through the entire movie, I was like, okay, who are you?
Well, she's the grand mastermind of what's causing all this. They said that, but
I mean, yeah.
I just have to wait like 2 more movies for them to actually killed her.
wait,
Or send her to jail.
2 more?
I swear to God,
guide her.
I swear to God, the first thing that went through my head, okay, who's the big chicken? It's like, can we just shoot her and throw her on the fryer and feed the world? I mean, come on.
The thing is, this it's gonna be like a freaking like Harry Potter like quadrilogy or something like that. That's how many movies are gonna make for this.
I just hope they don't do. And again, I don't want to sound like a
pessimist,
but I don't want to sound like a dweeb when I say this. I just hope they don't go the ways of Kamen Rider Tyson. I'll explain why.
God, I really hope.
Tyson, they hyped up the movie, right?
Yeah.
As the grander battle. There's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. And in Sharivan, the commercial really hyped up the movie, and I enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to what the Bird Lady's role is, Horror Girl, what her role is in all of this. I just hope they don't do like a half-assed ending like they did with Kamen Rider Tyson, where they hype it up through the commercials, and then I'm gonna forfeit over a flower.
Nothing. Okay, no. Flower means the flower was great.
To be honest, I didn't even know that this movie was like a thing until like the podcast when CJ was all like, "Hey, this week we should do Sharivan the movie," and I was all like, "There's such a thing."
Well, the main reason why this became that is because, I could not start watching O's. But anyway, no, the one thing that I hope for is that here's the thing I hope when it comes to the big chicken. I'm actually hoping, and this is such a small detail, I understand, but at the same time, I hope to God that the head that she has, or the big chicken or pigeon head or whatever the hell she's supposed to be, I really hope that's supposed to actually be her head, and not pull something like what they did with Mr. President from Toku, where the head is removable.
Turns out that's his wife.
Oh my god.
I can't. That was a good one.
Oh my god.
Oh, forever Toku shipping. Or, you know, one true.
God.
Those are my Toku OTPs. My
Mr. President,
I'm a terrible person.
life is so frisky. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm a bad person.
oh my god, you made the sick man laugh. That
You're
hurt.
welcome.
That was such a wonderful laugh. Anyway, no, I just hope that the head is not removable. And I mean, given the fact that there's feathers, good God, that there are feathers flying everywhere, something tells me that it is not removable. But then at the same time, you kind of wonder, okay, what kind of relationship did her mother or father have with an animal?
What did you do to Mr. Squawkins? Oh, okay.
Now we're
Enough
getting
on that.
yeah.
More like, what did you do to Big Bird?
I'm trying to move on.
Oh, Tomas saying something.
I was saying maybe she could just be a strange species of alien who are humanoids with.
Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, I guess. Oh, my question for you guys that have seen the Gavan movie, the new Gavan movie, was Bird Girl even in it at all or not?
No.
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 Okay, that's good to know. So
Like,
I guess
I watched the whole thing and she was non-existent.
But now was Horror Girl
She wasn't even relevant.
I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what her relevancy to the series to this is. I mean, I have a feeling, yeah, she's going to be the big bad, nasty, gnarly, whatever. But you know, the fact that we have so little about her, it really means that they're going to have to come up with a new movie or something. They're going to have to give a further explanation because Big Bird over here, yeah, he wants to know what's happening to his daughter and why his daughter is so evil. But that's all I have to say about her.
Did anybody have a problem with the story?
I did not. You know,
I was able to follow it really nice, and I greatly enjoyed that.
and I actually liked how the story played out with or with Sharivan and Eileen and Segi. Finding out that Segi is actually the spy man. In the method that it happened. I mean, he was caught red-handed in the bar thing.
Well, no, he figured it out like before that, but it's just like he went there and got his confirmation.
Right, but at the same time, if you look at it, technically he was caught red-handed because he was sitting there talking all lovey-dovey. Well, not really lovey-dovey, but he was sitting there talking all comfortable, like with Big Bad.
He was
Big
being
Bad
all
No
chummy.
Man. Yeah, that's the term, chummy.
But it's like that made me so mad. Like I was literally hoping midway through the fight between him and Sharivan, like Esteban would turn around and like attack the guy. And I was like, no, why are you a villain? You're so good.
You know,
Why are you a villain?
I guess the only reason why they didn't do it that way is because they've done that for so long. They've done that in other series. I can't name them right off the top of my head. Because my head's all full of mucus. But
I get that. I still just was like, I just wanted.
I guess they just
didn't
wanted
want him to be
deviate
happy.
from the norm. Deviating from the norm is actually, in my opinion, a good thing. I actually prefer it when they deviate from the norm.
Yeah.
Makes it to where it's less boring. Let's see. What else? Does anybody have anything else they want to say about the movie?
I like the what I liked is that they kept it's a like and it's a dislike. They kept the original music from the original.
Oh God, yeah.
You know.
You know, I'm kind of mixed on that one. You know, I like the original music, just because it does kind of give the people who watched Gavan and Sharivan before that bit of nostalgia. But at the same time, I guess for the ending, having the original movie or having the original music being like the opener would have been good, and then having like a remix version of the ending being the ender of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been an interesting
remix of the Gavan theme song.
Yeah. But I mean, don't get me wrong. The fact that they kept the original, it did give anyone that watched the original Gavan and Sharivan TV series, it gave them that bit of nostalgia, and I'm all for nostalgia. I love it. It's a fantastic thing. So.
Well, one last thing I'll say about both this movie and the Strider movie is I'm glad these have been made because they help to flesh out the characters of the new Sharivan and Strider, because in the original Gavan movie they were just kind of introduced, showing that there was a new Sharivan and a new Strider, and then they just showed up during the final battle to help out. We didn't really get to know about their characters, what kind of people they were. And so I'm
They
glad
were very one note when they showed up.
Exactly.
Even in the Gavan movie, like when they showed up, I was like I was so frustrated with that movie at the time that when they showed up, it's like, and then these assholes come out of nowhere.
I have a question for you guys.
All right.
Is it me or do the has any of you guys seen the Go Busters?
I've seen the entire thing.
I watched to I think 30, and I just couldn't go any further.
Okay, I'm a deviate, but in the movie Sharivan, you see a bunch of guys with swords, with masks over their face.
Yeah.
Is it? You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The ninja guys.
Yeah,
They look like they're wearing
army
vests too. Yeah.
Is it me or do they look like the Winter Soldier?
A little.
What I've seen of it, yeah.
Go with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, what do they have to do with Go Busters?
Well, in the one episode featuring Gavan, well, one of the two episodes featuring Gavan, you see Gavan fighting those guys.
Oh.
And it's just like, I'm watching this movie, and I watched it for like the 30th time last night, and I'm just like...
That's impressive.
No, it's depressing.
I was going to be quiet,
And it just, I'm just there, and it's just like, wait a minute, is that Bucky? No, why? Yeah, that's just a thought.
I can see it.
Well,
Okay,
Marvel
yeah,
has
too.
a presence in Japan, but their properties are more often they're more often crossing over into anime territory than tokusatsu.
With the Attack on Titan meets Marvel crossover event that's coming.
Well, I think more notably with
Oh
anime
god.
of certain series and the series Discwor's Avengers.
I freaking hate that stupid crossover.
Oh boy.
So stupid.
These crossovers, I'm not looking forward to that.
Crossovers everywhere.
I mean, some crossovers are good. Others,
I mean, it's at this point that they're pretty much going Oprah with it, and just like, you get a crossover, you get a crossover, everybody gets a crossover.
This might have been kind of spurred on by the success of the Avengers movie.
Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah.
I'm just waiting for the day where... Nah, let me not make that.
I'm just here waiting for my B fighters. That's all I want.
Man,
Hell, when it comes to
they're actually like, why didn't they do B fighter movies?
Not yet. I don't think they're gonna do that just yet. They might.
I guess it's going to depend upon the popularity of these current Sharivan movies.
I think it goes with.
I was a fan of Beetleborgs as a kid. I haven't gotten the chance to see B Fighter yet, but it seems interesting, and I don't.
It's violent.
I think it's like what Noah said. I don't think the B Fighter series has gotten to a point where they've gotten like a anniversary like Gavan or Super Sentai, because right now in Japan it's like with crossovers, it's like Oprah. It's like you get an anniversary, you get an anniversary, and you get an anniversary, and you have to wait.
Well, I mean,
are dependent on time. Anniversary series are dependent on the creators, the company.
Well, now, real quick, the one thing that since we're kind of on that topic, kind of on that subject, and it does kind of go along with what we have right now. If you remember in Gokaiger, there was a point where they actually had the B Fighter keys. They had regular B Fighter and B Fighter Kabuto keys.
That was a Metal Hero.
It was the Metal, it was the Metal Heroes.
That wasn't in Gokaiger. That was the Superhero Tyson Z.
However,
it revolved around the Gokaigers instead of
when you got the OCs for, they just transferred to them and used the Gokai Galleon Buster. So
yeah, it was pointless.
Right, but at the same time, if I'd have been a smart kid over there watching that while it was happening, I'd have probably been like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, who are these guys? I don't recognize them."
Probably. I mean, to give a bit of a fun bit of news, I mean, I think they might have an anniversary coming up because the JUCO Beat Fighter show aired in February 5th, 1995.
Oh.
So
Also,
I believe they're hitting their 20th anniversary soon. Yeah.
Yeah, also with the release of all their new figures coming up, I feel like that's a hint towards
possible reboot.
Yeah, I wouldn't go far as a reboot, but most likely a movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll also, if they do something like that, they'll also give attention to B Fighter Kabuto as well.
Right.
It's JUCO B Fighter Kabuto. He'd probably get his next year, or the year after.
2016.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at least we'll get B Fighter Kabuto figures next year.
Right.
I hope so.
I mean, I'll be honest. The fact that they're doing these—they're not really reboots, but the fact that they're doing these movies, bringing back old heroes, it really, like I said, it really creates the nostalgia for the people who watch those. But then, that also introduces the new generation to these characters and to these personas, and what these, what these armors and all do, and the personalities behind them. And makes it to where they want to go. Maybe it'll make them want to do their research and go back and watch, because if I can find the Gavan and Sharivan, yes, I know it's not going to be up to the same standard that we have now. I know it's going to be the campy 1980s stuff, with a lot more blood and guts and gore, but that's okay to me. But I'm okay with that. I want to do it.
Going in the Wayback Machine to the 80s is a weird thing to do.
Yes.
We are like miles off the beaten path. We even have a comment in the video asking what we're talking about because someone's lost. So, two choices. Either we get back on the path, give some final thoughts for Sharivan, or we just pull the plug and run away. Let's go for the more sensible idea.
Let's go for the final thoughts.
Because I think we're all at that point where we're just out of talking points, talk about random crap.
Pretty much. Talk about random stuff that's somewhat relevant. But anyway, so I guess all I can say is I do like the Sharivan movie. I did somewhat see the twist that happened, but at the same time I didn't. I was rather perturbed that he pulled the same stunt that that assassin guy did when they were before they became their respective roles. But I loved the way this movie was executed. I really don't have a bad thing to say about it at all, because even right down to continuity, with slashes and cuts and everything, with the one instance of the gunshot, uh, with everything else, everything con- remained the same continuity wise, and I actually like that about that. So I don't have a bad thing to say at all. Uh, and I love the character development. But anyway, so next.
I'm gonna let the guests go first.
Yes.
Well, since Eric's actually seen the movie, I'll let him go before I do.
Wow, thanks for putting me on the spot, guys.
Pressure.
Get
Shar-
into it.
I love this movie. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I have no complaints about it. It's a very good movie. You know, I have no complaints. I have no really criticisms other than that one scene in the beginning. I love it. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Well, since I still haven't seen the full movie, I don't have any final thoughts, but I do look forward to seeing it. And I hope that this and the Charter movie are successful and lead to revivals of other male hero series.
I can go for that one. All right, Adrian.
Oh, it's me. Um,
Yes.
I really like this movie. I'm probably gonna watch it again when TV Nihon subs it. I just don't like overtime. I don't know. It was
2 weeks
really, it was pretty good. It's really got kind of dark. Um, I don't know. It's just good. People should go watch it. It's good.
Yep.
Volk.
Wait, there was no plot holes. Well, maybe just like some tiny ones. So there was like it. The movie made sense. They got to the point.
Yeah.
And there was character development.
Yep. To wrap up my thoughts for it, I definitely gotta say, goodness gracious, this movie was enjoyable. Especially since I watched it immediately after watching the Gavan movie, and I was like, oh man, if the Gavan movie is any form of precursor for the Sharivan movie, this is not going to be enjoyable. And then I watched it, and it was like, oh my god, that blew the Gavan movie out of the water. The water. The water. Oh, I stumble over words. It's
We all do.
I found the story to be incredibly tight, while also leaving just enough of a taste for most likely what's going to be concluded in the Scheider movie, which liked that. I was still sad with the fate of Esteban. I got really attached to that guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Definitely go watch it if you haven't already. One, what the heck is wrong with you? You're watching a review, a kind of mild one, about a movie that you haven't seen. What's the matter with you? Go watch the movie. Go.
Also, we're terrible at this ending stuff.
Oh God.
You for yourself, Adrian.
Alright, so I guess if we don't have any other final thoughts on the movie, I guess it's shameless plug time. Yeah. I'm going to go last, so I'm going to let you guys go first. I'm going to go in the order that I have them down here on my little screen. We're going to start with Frogman over here.
I'm good in the shameless plug area. I have nothing to plug. Wait.
Oh
That
god,
is-
right in my ear.
I'm sorry.
Man, we got-
Alrighty then. It's like,
Even
what's
from
wrong?
outside the state, Kelvin's attacking.
Oh wait, no, that was actually you, Noah.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, that was a notification from you.
Oh jeez.
It was
Alrighty
a
then.
YouTube notification.
Alright. Gives me a heart attack. Holy
Sorry,
Jesus.
you should totally put headphones users beware at a certain point in the description.
Yeah. Eric, do you have any shameless plugs?
I mean, what am I plugging?
Basically, if you have anything that you do, like Adrian has Let's Talk Toku, yeah.
I really don't do anything right now. I might be starting a YouTube channel involving like comedy. It'll probably be like Dave Chappelle-esque comedy, but more like in the
Oh my.
nerd sense, like a nerdy Chappelle show type thing. Right now, I'm a toy collector. I'm a big fan of Sailor Moon, Tokusatsu. I cosplay. I cosplay the Red Ranger. You know, I mean, I met Adrian over in Seattle. I mean, you're probably gonna hear more about me later on in the line, but right now I'm just a nobody.
In this podcast, nobody is a nobody. Alright, so,
Well, let's just say he's a cosplayer.
there you go. Tomas.
So you can find me at youtube.com/krx15 on my channel where I do toy reviews, mostly of tokusatsu shows, usually recent stuff with the occasional, kind of older toy. And I go into a lot of detail on them and, try to explain what they do and whether or not you should buy them.
Yeah.
He keeps you from wasting money.
Yeah.
To wrap up,
Oh wait, sorry. Also, Tomas is just a pretty well-known tokusatsu personality, in my opinion. So far it seems like a lot of people know who KRX50 is.
Well, thank you.
Alright.
to wrap up mine, I just have my usual business I do in Seattle. If you have, or not just Seattle, but pretty much Puget Sound area, Washington. If you have computer troubles, network troubles, any of that, you can find us at the links below. Me and my dad, 30 plus years of computer experience.
And of course, I've got my channel that I'm trying to do the reviews for. Like I said, this person right here. Anyway, Mr. KRX50 here. He's the one that kind of inspired me to do that with my stuff that I have. So yeah.
I do feel honored to hear that kind of thing because, I'm doing this just to entertain people, to show people these things that they wouldn't normally see, in their own market, see if they want to buy it, try to share my passion with the world.
And because you shared your passion with the world, I want to share mine because I'll show you later, but anyway, I want to share my passion. And I used to be very afraid to show my nerd side, and now I don't really care. But also, if you look at my nice, stylish hat, tonight I am Link. My mother actually crochets, and she actually has a Facebook page called Monkey Mama Gifts. The link for that is down below. Pretty much, if there's anything that you want crocheted, be it baby blankets, hats, even little stuffed animals, she can make it. She's even gone down to the point where she can look at something and make her own pattern for it and not have to do anything else if she can't find her own. So if there's ever anything that you guys want crocheted, or you want that gift that has that has the passion and the heart put into it for being made, go look at the Facebook page. You can message her. You can message me on my Facebook page, which I don't think know that yet, well, you can just you can get in touch with one of us, and we will get the message passed along. I know she would greatly appreciate it. So yeah. All right. Is there anything else anybody else has to say before we wrap this up?
No.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for having me, and I hope, if you let me, I can come back for future episodes, as I do have available. I am usually available at this time, and I do like getting into good discussions about Tokusatsu.
Well,
No problem.
oh, it will definitely happen. Both of you will definitely be back if you choose to come back.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Problem.
So if that's it, we're all signing out. You guys who watched us, we thank you for watching, and we hope that you were rather amused with our wonderful discussions. I hope you have a good, wonderful night.
Later.
Night, everybody.
Bye.